G'day, ladies and gents. Oh, we're on the wrong side. Let's change this. It's live, pal, and we're live, pal. And speaking of live, it's Figure Friday, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Myself at Sam's Figs, and we're also joined here by the man Steve OZER himself from Mattel. I really do appreciate you stopping by, Steve, especially on the first episode of Figure Friday. Like, this is just amazing. First off, before we get to the guest of honor, Sam, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to finally get this idea rolling that we've had for a long time. Um, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, dude, it has been a long time coming. So to finally do this is quite special, and not only special is this episode. I feel like it was only right to dedicate this to Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, two wrestling. I'm gonna say it legends in the business who has passed really unexpectedly the past couple days. Bray is one that really hit home for me, and Terry Funk just being a legend and everything he's done in Japan. Like I'm just a really big fan on. Uh, Steve, do you have anything to say? Any reminiscences, any memories of either watching a Terry Funk or a Bray Wyatt?
Man, you got me with the graphics at the beginning. I don't know why I
Oh,
wasn't expecting. I was like, oh damn. It's been a rough week. I think for all of us. To say that both of these stars were beloved would be an understatement. Both resonated with fans at unprecedented levels. And I think both like kind of like define generations in a way similarly. And
yeah.
I'm in a group text with Robert, who I work with, our copywriter, and Jason from McFarlane Toys, and we were talking about everything. And I think Rob said like Bray's fans who go on to become wrestlers are going to be inspired by Bray in the same way that the generation who watched Terry were inspired and went on to perform in a similar fashion and borrow a little bit from him. So really two hugely influential talents in the business whose contributions, were huge in their times, but I think their legacies live on with everyone who will be or were inspired by them. For memories, we'll start with Terry. I'm a Philly boy, so grew up in South Philly, and of course that's synonymous with ECW. And just discovering that on cable television and like having your young mind blown by what you were seeing on TV. And I like an entertainment when you kind of when the entertainment product grows with you, and ECW was kind of growing with us at the time, like age wise, maturity wise,
Right.
while as the major
And
companies took a
that'll
lot of
hit you right where it's home. Like that'll hit you in
yeah.
the heart if it's growing up with you, you know.
So yeah, ECW was that like entity that was maturing with us, and then soon after, WWE and WCW caught up to that. But Terry obviously, a pioneer in the business and integral in that company's growth. And just like insane memories, their first pay-per-view, the retirement matches that he had, multiple retirement matches, his feud with Flair, the I Quit
Yeah.
match,
Yeah, the
just
I Quit match. Yep.
amazing stuff. Japan, it's like you could just go
Yeah.
on and on about Terry. And Bray, just like the creativity, off the charts creativity, and just seeing in modern times fans react in that way. It happened, probably in the Attitude Era a lot, in the Golden Era a lot, and then maybe it didn't happen as much with as many performers after the Attitude Era. It did happen once in a while, but Bray was like next level, like crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. Everyone with their cell phones turned on in the
He had the whole
stadium.
world in his hands, you know,
Yeah,
like
80,000
literally.
people or whatever in a stadium. Everybody
Yeah.
watching, watching at home. So really, it's those larger than life moments rather than a match or something that I really remember. It's just like their just impact was so large, and the connection to the fans was so great. Yeah, they were both very, very special.
Yeah, well, I really do appreciate you taking the time to even speak a few words on it. Sam, same goes to you, man. Any memories watching a Terry Funk or a Bray Wyatt in your wrestling fandom?
I mean, for the majority of the years that I was a fan, we always had Bray Wyatt, no matter if it was, in the beginning, Husky Harris, starting out as the Wyatt family, establishing himself as a singles wrestler, winning the world title. Whatever he got, he made it work and he did it to the fullest. And it's really just a shame what happened.
Yeah, especially like so young too, 36, I believe. Um, completely out of nowhere. I really do appreciate you two speaking on it because especially on like such a pedestal, like it's something like a show where everyone's watching you. It's kind of hard, and we're all still shaken up, so it's really hard to put into words. Still, this is super recent. This is. I think only 24 hours removed from me, at least, waking up and seeing the news of Bray Wyatt. So, yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. To especially come on here and talk in front of people about something that means so much to you. So guys, I really do appreciate that both. So and yeah, like Bray Wyatt, I've same goes with Sam. I've watched Bray Wyatt in his I guess in his WWE run the whole way through. Husky Harris, Eater of Worlds, The Fiend, all that, you name it. And yeah, just a creative mind. He's going to be surely missed. But hopefully, what can we do? We can try and move on. Try is a big word. We can try and move on. And I think we should so here because we have a special guest here, and I don't want to waste any of Morige's time. But not that we wasted it, because I love talking about Bray and Terry. I could do that all day.
Is
but
it
here we are.
Charizard? Is this special guest Charizard?
It's actually Dragonite. Okay.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I can't believe this. I'm leaving. No, but here, guys, if you saw him on your screen, you most likely did because you have two eyes like me. There's the global brand marketing manager at Mattel, more known for his work with the WWE and Mattel partnership as Action Figure Attack. He's known on social media. He's the mastermind behind Ultimate Editions, and he joins us on the first inaugural episode of Figure Friday. Steve OZER, how are you, man? I know, I again, we're all shaken up, but again, how are you, man? Thank you so much. I think this is the third time on the channel for you, which is more than anyone, more than me at this point, I'm going to say.
I'm doing better after that amazing intro.
You always put me over for the intros, and I look, my heart is warm. I'll just say that. It grew 2 times bigger or whatever happened in Grinch.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Things are moving along. I'm busy. We're making toys. Shaking babies, kissing hands, all the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, that caught me off guard. I'm gonna be completely honest. But shaking babies and kissing hands is a pastime I believe we should all get into at some point. But yeah, this is the third time on the channel. I want to talk about the thumbnail that our good friend Sam actually picked, and it's a photo from Hogan's Beat Shop. You right next to the man himself, the 7-foot colossal giant himself, the man who's a Hulkamaniac through and through, Hulk Hogan. Now, talk to me about that visit to Hogan's Beat Shop. You had like some reveals there, I believe, and was it a signing there as well or something? Run me through that whole day. How was that being with Hogan and that whole experience as well?
I mean, really, thanks to John at ringside and one of our sales guys, Robert Rittarelli, for setting all that up. It allowed me to, kind of nudge my way into participating with Bill. But we really just wanted to celebrate the release of the Mega Powers box set, along with like the timing of what is traditionally Ringside Fest. I don't think they billed that event as Ringside Fest, but all those events at the time between the Usos interview and the reveals that we did online, and the Hogan event, kind of became this like multi-day Ringside Fest thing. But it was awesome. And not to keep talking about Bray and Terry Funk too much, but like it makes me value moments like that even more. Because you get to talk to the people you grew up with and who helped shape you. And I'm doing what I'm doing because of guys like, Terry Funk and Hulk Hogan. And I get to do things that I, enjoy because of, following that passion that was ignited by them. And I got to tell Hulk that in person and share memories of the Philadelphia Spectrum. So it was super cool. And then, fast forward until later in the night when Bill's, screaming his karaoke songs with the Hulks are there, and up on the screen pops up, Philadelphia Spectrum WWF footage.
Yeah.
It's like totally cool. And Hogan's like pointing at it. He's like, it's the Spectrum, brother. So
Bill's
yeah.
performance. Hogan, how could you be so distracted? I'd be all eyes on Bill McKean singing karaoke. That's just kind of a fever dream right there.
Yeah. So I think for all of us there, John, the ringside team, Tom, Bill, Rob, myself, everybody who was there, it was probably one of our most special moments. Little reward career wise. We work hard, and then we got to share that with a childhood hero. So just despite however time progresses and heroes fall out of favor for new heroes or things happen, it doesn't change like how we grew up and those memories from our childhood, and that's kind of what we were celebrating that day. And we got to show them everything in the pipeline too, amongst other new releases, so it was really fun.
Did you get to show him at all the 3-pack that you guys showed off at STCC by any chance?
Which one? Remind me of the 3-pack. There's so many items.
The 3 faces of Hogan, if you will.
Oh, no. We clued him in that the anniversary was coming and that we were celebrating it.
Oh, cool.
So a few months later, he did an interview. I forget who it was with. Maybe ESPN or I don't know, some news outlet. And he mentioned the 40th anniversary, and he said how Mattel was going to, do something really special for it. So he remembered, and cool. He gave us a plug a few months later unsolicited. So that was really nice of him. And here we are, everything is for the first half was announced. You're going to get lots of Hogan figures in 2024. And yes, I know, some people may have Hulk Hogan action figure fatigue. So let us celebrate this anniversary, and then things might settle down just a little bit.
Well, there we go. That's good news for everyone out there. Not for me, but for everyone else out there. No, but yeah, speaking of SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, we saw a ton of reveals, man. It was just like, you guys...
That's why I couldn't remember what you were talking about when you said box.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, look, you guys always show up at these conventions, at these Comic-Cons, and it's been no different this year. Speaking of that Hogan 3-pack, we saw that at San Diego Comic-Con. And let's run through some of the SDCC things, the highlights from that weekend. Do you have any takeaways? How was it for you guys at the Mattel booth?
It was great. I unfortunately was incredibly busy with lots of things business-wise, so I had to keep running back to the hotel to work, and then running back to the convention center. But do
you mean like podcast work?
I wish.
Because I was thinking, like, if you're like trying to cut time, run into your hotel, doing a podcast, coming back,
that would have been fun.
Then you'll be the real pod gladiator right there.
It was boring business work, the downfall of the job, which is why I consider things like, showing talent their new figures rewards, because there's a lot of stuff that's not fun that I have to do to bring these toys to life for everybody. But every moment that I spent on the con floor, whether it's doing interviews or talking to collectors and fans, it's the highlight of my year. Absolutely. Comic-Con and WrestleMania Access or Superstore, whatever they're doing for WrestleMania each year. Those are my favorite moments. It's really rewarding to share that stuff, with talent when you can, and with the fans, of course, get those genuine reactions and feedback. It beats anything online any day. It's more real, it's more from the heart, and I love it, and I think we delivered tons of stuff, despite maybe opinions of maybe a certain segment was underserved or whatever, we did try to give a little something for everybody there. Hopefully, you can 100%. See that.
Yeah, I mean, I can, right? There's something for every collector. I think we see these at these Comic-Con, especially with these reveals. Sometimes there are more Hogans than other than other times there've been some Hogans. But hey, I can't harp on that. Just don't buy them.
It's
What?
called a
Say
retail
it.
program. You have to build a themed retail program. So you'll see things
Yeah.
like that happen once in a while.
What does Kyle Peterson say? He's like, put your
Yeah.
business hat on or something.
Oh yeah,
And he's like,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, put your business hat on, get the Romans in the line, get the Cenas in the line, get the Hogans in the lines, baby. Okay. And yeah, well, we'll talk about it. So a ton of Hogans, I'm sure, on these SDCC display reveals. So speaking of which, man, like talking about first the new basic articulation. This is something that took me by storm. I'll be completely honest, and don't mind the pun. But you know, the new basic articulation we have like I can't even name everything there, man. Like there's a little bit too much basic articulation from my small brain, and I would love you to talk about it with your big brain.
These things are anything but basic, right? Now,
Yeah.
that thing, the articulation reveal, that was my highlight reveal, I think, because I don't think anyone saw it coming.
No,
Um,
no.
I know that some collectors had just written off basics, right? As something
Me,
like I don't need to
dude,
collect.
I was one of them, and I'm not afraid to say this has
Yeah.
made me way more interested in basics now. And go for it.
And
Yeah.
ever since we've gotten samples in hand, I can't put them down.
Yeah.
Do I have? Yeah, like I've got Cody here. I've got the first wave was top picks, and top picks are carry forwards, which means they're just basically re-releases with the new legs, right? So that's
Oh
why I
wow,
have
yeah.
these first. But like, I mean, the the way that these are brought to life now, which way is he looking? The way that you can bring these to life now, is just unreal. It's no longer just like hailing a taxi cab, action figure poses. It's really cool, and Robert posed out all those figures, Cody doing the crossroads, and Hogan, I think, doing a big boot or something.
The BTF, did he do that
Yeah,
to Top Dollar? Yeah, cool, awesome.
awesome
Yeah.
stuff. And anytime someone comes by my cube at work, and they start chatting with me or asking me questions, I grab a figure and I'm just like fiddling with it. And it's just been basics ever
Yeah.
since we got these. And something that I don't think was shown or really communicated yet. So breaking news for you.
Wait,
maybe
did
I
I
talked
see you?
about
Did
it,
I see that right?
but they actually they have swivels here, so you can
Yeah.
swivel at the actual hip joint. It's not a cut like the thigh cuts on elites, but you get a lot more range of motion here than you would. So it's super cool, super fun. I
Man.
can't wait for all these new basics to hit, and I think they're going to have a whole new strong life once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at him. He looks strong. He's got a very strong pose going on. But a question as well with these collectors. Some collectors, especially me as well, this crossed my mind with the new basics. I wonder if we can, like, there's a lot of torso swappers and torso crackers up, if you will. But yeah, people who kind of fix up, and I wonder if that is the case on some of these basics. If we can torso swap them on some of these attires, I don't know. Who knows? Do you know, Steve? Do you know the
I don't know.
innings and outings?
I know that you can probably do an easy boil and pop or blow dry and pop on the hips to switch to legs. Hands are all swappable now, right? So you will see a variety of hands. We have a Cena coming out with the "You Can't See Me" hand, and then the heads, of course, are swappable too. So you have lots of options for customizability and posability. But yeah, I think when the designers were working on these new hips, they actually came off on their own originally. If you pop them off, we got them a little tighter, so I think if you just heat it up a little, you could pop those off. So there's a lot more options. Torso crack and things like that, I don't know anything about that. I'm not that skilled, but as far as intentionally having swappable torsos, maybe someday. Obviously it's something that other lines do, multiple lines, so maybe we can squeeze it in at some point and get the ball rolling on that, but no plans just yet.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, yeah, anything to make the people, the folks at home, a little bit more. I don't know, because I'm one of the people who I do a lot of hair swaps, and this is a great segue into our next topic. I do a lot of hair swaps, so I take off hair pieces, I adhesive them back onto other people. I like Frankenstein my figures sometimes if I want. And I blame Kenny Omega for that. But and this goes into our next topic is interchangeable hair. This is something we've seen on this Ultimate Edition RVD. And in the Monday Night Wars line with the Kevin Nash, he has the removable hairpiece as well. How did this idea come about, and how often can we see this in the future too?
Was the original Andre or Doink? Maybe Doink.
Oh yeah, it was
Anyway,
Doink. Yeah.
yeah, going back, like that was a thing. Swappable hair back then. And I think it's just something that came to mind for Bill once again. Maybe seeing some other action figures doing it and being like, oh yeah, we kind of did this already. Why don't we do more of this? And it gives you a lot more options, right? Like, do we need every Rob Van Dam to have like the same ponytail in the Ultimate, or do we want them all swappable so you can move them around, have the dynamic, ponytail for any of the heads that you want, and then the downward ponytail. And I think you're going to see it more and more, right? There you go. You're going to see it more and more with any figures that have like a type of hair that you can pull the hair off, and it warrants having something else going on, like an AJ Styles style swoosh to the hair. I think we're going to start exploring that more deeply as time goes by.
I mean, if that was the case, I'd get a Steve OZER figure and I'd plop that AJ Styles hair on the Steve OZER.
Oh yeah, long luxurious hair.
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it.
I just imagine 17-year-old Steve OZER in the like high school graduation photo, just long AJ Styles hair, right?
No, a little later, maybe a year later. I went to Catholic school, so I had to have shortish hair.
Amen, brother. Let's go.
But once I graduated, that hair was long.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. I mean, same thing after I left Catholic school, man. You cannot keep this hair in a hairnet sort of stance. All right, this is not happening. But talking of the Hogan 3-pack that we did touch on a little bit as well. It's sort of reminiscent of the Jack sort of 3-packs, the Hulk Still Rules 3-pack. Was this sort of an intentional sort of thing, or maybe just a little even nod to the past?
I mean, I had that pack, and actually Hogan's Beat Shop bought it from me on eBay years ago, and Hogan signed it and sold it. So anyway, someone owns my pack signed by Hogan. So, obviously, I think everything inspires us, whether we know it or not, consciously or subconsciously. But really, the reason for being for the set is, we were anniversarying the Raw 30th anniversary set. Plus, we were building a retail program at Target to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania. So, box set, of course, makes sense. And then, rolling out Hogan figures and Hogan friends and foes and legends made a lot of sense. That's really kind of why it happened. And then, working with Bill to try to identify 3 distinct looks from the eras that we hadn't done in action figure form yet. And looks that, either, fans had requested, or the blue one, for instance. Bill really wanted that blue Trunks Hogan to be in Coliseum collection. I had to put my foot down and be like, no, we need to be as true as possible to LJNs. I was like, we'll do it next. And here was next. And then lots of requests for Starcade, Hogan, of course, and then the Hulk Still Rules Hogan. No brainer to celebrate that 2002 return.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the 2002 return Hogan is something we haven't seen, I don't think, in Mattel form. We've seen the Survivor Series Hogan, which was the match against Shawn, but he didn't have the two-tone sort of beard going on. Here he does, and that's my sort of Hogan,
Yeah, I think we did get a little bit later. Maybe that's 2004 versus Shawn from SummerSlam. But yeah, not that proper, just to see return to the red and yellow in WWE. And of course, the new torso that was revealed for Hulk,
absolutely
a little more fitting of a later career Hulk Hogan. And the skin tone is supposed to be updated on those 2 Hogans as well to be a darker skin tone. I haven't seen.
Wait, really? Is this new?
I don't know if we talked about it or not. Maybe it's breaking news. Maybe it isn't. But if it is breaking news, surprise. So we're trying to get that updated. Once I see the new samples in hand, I will 100% verify it. But those instructions were given to give him a more tan skin tone for the older 2 Hogan figures. We'll see if that comes through. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope. I know there's a lot of people sort of hopefully in clamoring for it, but if not, I know Mattel has a long list of Hogans to do. Okay, so let's not rush anything, because I'm a patient boy, but I want those Hogans in my hands. Okay, no, and another 3-pack. We touched on it a little bit in the intro. 3 Faces of Foley. This is another 3-pack. Also reminds me of this Jax 3-pack. And I think this was a no-brainer. This is something that I know Mick Foley he's been sort of pushing, and it's always been his gimmick when he's doing sort of those one-man show circuits. It's sort of his gimmick. I need the Three Faces of Foley 3-pack if I'm gonna re-sign my merch deal with WWE. I think if I'm remembering Miss correctly, make sure you let me know. But yeah, this is just a great 3-pack. I'm gonna need this. I missed out on that Dude Love initially, that Elite, and it was something that I saw in the pegs a little bit here and there, and I wish I got it. And the moment I wanted it, it was gone from the pegs. So it was one of those things. This is a great goddamn thing to get, and especially 3 specific attires.
Yeah, this is a direct homage to the old pack, for sure.
Cool.
But we still wanted to freshen it up with kind of variations on looks that we hadn't, maybe done or needed improvements. Like Cactus Jack is completely different, in an era that hasn't been touched before in action figures. So that's pretty cool.
It looks completely different, yeah.
But I didn't know that this was something that Mick was pushing for internally with WWE. I'd never heard that before. We had always wanted to do it, but every time we went around to do it, his contract was ending or he wasn't under a deal. And, I'm going to expose the business a little bit. That video that I think Ringside posted the video. The video Ringside posted was actually a few years old. And they were going to play it to put us on the spot and try to get things going during a Ringside Fest. And I said to John, hey, let's just hold that and not do it, because we can't even do the box set now because his contract is coming up. And we held the video, and then everything came together finally a year or two later. So that was really nice. And then Mick's happy, and the box set is going to be a lengthwise kind of box set similar to the original, but it will have individual boxes inside, much like Defining Moment. So kind of like a hybrid between the two. Mick can stand right across the front if you want him to.
Oh, okay, wow. You've just hurt my brain trying to think of how that can even work. But again, I don't have the business prowess, and I don't have the big brain. Okay, I've got a small brain. This is not a running joke because it's the truth. Okay, and it's an epidemic, and I should see a doctor about it. But anyway, going on to another pack, a multi-pack, Then Now Forever 4-pack. Look at this. Look at this. Hogan. We got Maivia. We got the Becks. We got the big time Becks. We got the big time Becks. We got the big time. I just love this figure a lot. And we got Austin as well. And this lineup originally turned some heads. I won't lie. It originally turned some heads in the community, but after it was all said and done, this pack, they came out to be some of their best figures of those character iterations. Talk to me a little bit about this 4-pack and how this came to fruition as well.
I don't know if I can. There's been some drama with the set. It is going to hit shelves again as the Then Now Forever 4-pack. And with any multi-pack, there's a level of collaboration that takes place. And within the confines of the theme or themes, you kind of, landed on this lineup here. And no doubt that these are 4 of the most iconic superstars of all time, spanning different generations. Yeah. And if you're a long time fan from the 80s to now, there would be something for you, something for everyone here. But if you're era specific, I can see why, maybe a later career Austin or post-career Austin, basically, or a modern Becky, or if you're not an 80s fan, maybe Hogan isn't your thing. But that's how it is sometimes, right? You're building a program for something, and this is the set that you wind up getting to when you collaborate with multiple people. But it's a badass set. All the figures are cool. People were excited for the figures individually when we teased them at WrestleMania, and it looks awesome on your shelf. I have the original foil version of it. It looks pretty cool.
That's cool, yeah. And you were saying, maybe if Hogan wasn't your thing, well, to that person I say, give me here, okay? Because I need that big green.
Send him to Nick. Right?
Great. Yeah, give it to Nick. Anything you guys don't want, give it to me for free. just cause I said, all right. And you can do with what you will with that information, okay? But it's the offer is there. But yeah, I mean, 4-pack again. This Becky figure, I want to talk about it. It's not even in my notes, but I just want to talk about this Becky figure because the head accessory is really, really cool. It's like almost like a black veil sort of thing. But you know, with her Daft Punk shades or whatever is going on there. So this is like just again, I say probably their best elites of these character iterations, the best Maya Via we've seen. I mean, the only current Austin we've seen, the best Becky elite in my opinion, and you know, we're getting the big green here as well. So
yeah, thank you for that. I agree with you. I mean Becky especially.
Yeah.
Hogan, there's a lot. Austin, maybe, you know, era dependent. Not your thing, but like the Becky, I think is her best figure. Period.
Yeah,
It's a
the
great
Becky's
figure.
almost a selling point for me for this
Yeah.
pack, you know.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't have any of these other iterations, so it's just a good time to get it, I think.
I mean, Sans articulation and extra heads. It's an ultimate figure. You know, it's that good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Especially with all the accessories. I mean, Hogan comes with an interchangeable head. I can talk about Hogan all day long. Okay, but this is something that's actually big. I want to get into this as well. We're seeing this with the Ultimate Edition Asuka. The Ultimate Edition women's figures are now getting butterfly joints. Thank the heavens, thank the Lord. You know, but and plus, this is a great figure. Is this Robe coming with this Asuka as well?
Oh yeah. Soft goods
Oh
road.
man,
We had to meet
new
those
butterfly joint.
conditions of doing it. Much like Gobbledygooker had to come with the egg, Asuka has to come with the robe.
Of course, yeah.
So you know, finally, you know, the original vision of Ultimate Edition was to launch with that special Asuka figure.
All right.
Kind of like dipping our toes in the water of what an Ultimate could be. Didn't pan out, but now, you know, a couple years later, like, you know, we like to rescue ideas. And Asuka is very deserving of an ultimate figure. Just, you know, looks and gear alone, let alone, you know, her strong tenure in WWE. But yeah, we're all very excited. She's finally getting her ultimate treatment.
Yeah, and it's with the butterfly joints as well. Is this? I'm. This is a no-brainer question, but is this something we can see with future women's Ultimate Editions with the butterfly joints?
That's the hope. There's some concerns over restrictions of the gear. You don't want the articulation to cut through like a strap or something. So we'll have to look at that at a case by case basis. But we are going to strive to have as many with the butterfly shoulders as possible for sure.
And I'm sure that there's a case of you can only make the certain joints a certain size until it becomes like, you know, just loose or, you know, too tiny or too small when it comes to the butterfly joint. So you want it to be perfect. You don't want it to hit into a strap. Makes sense to me, you know, and it's great that we're finally getting it here. And what a great first impression for women's butterfly joints in the future with this Asuka figure. And we've seen, I'm gonna say like the robe accessories right now. I just reviewed right now on the channel. You can go watch it here. This Seth Rollins figure and the robe on it is amazing. I said like compared to like a bunch of other sort of figure robes, this actually feels like it's really sturdy and like when you hit. You can't touch your finger on the other side. That's how sturdy it is, you know. And you know, we saw the Ric Flair Ultimate Edition coat and the John Morrison from the earliest like Elite series or whatever it could be. So, and I don't know. I'm just excited for cloth goods. I at the end of the day, I'm gonna sew together all these robes, make a blanket, and then sleep in it. I think.
Oh, that's
because
a great idea.
because this faux fur is soft as hell. I can just do that already. It's not a bad idea actually. Now I'm thinking about it, but. Moving on, Elite 105. This is a new packaging that we've sort of seen. It's got less plastic. It's more of a less sort of a viewing window, just more environment friendly. Will this carry across each figure line? Do you think going through the Mattel series?
Most Legends has something completely different. We showed sort of prototype render of packaging back at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then I think images of that will debut. I mean, possibly at the end of the month, if not next month. But anyway, this will be your primary Elite packaging, and there'll be some variations of it for different lines. And you know, I think the work here was trying to find a balance between, you know, doing the right thing and being responsible but still being true to what's needed for a WWE figure specifically, and WWE collectors. Keeping signing in mind. People love to get their figure signed, making sure there's space for that, whether that's the window or down below.
Yes, Sam. Yes, Sam. Looking at you.
And highlighting as much as possible of the figure. And we'll finesse this a little bit more. Like here, when I look at it, I see Dom is maybe a little bit too far camera left, and he could be nudged over camera right a little bit inside packaging. So we'll
Right.
play with things over time to really maximize the space that we have.
So is it still in like sort of its infancy stages? Like you guys are still sort of, or is this like is this the packaging that we're going to be seeing rolling out? It's not going to be to the left yet, or anything.
Well, I mean, this is it for Dom, right? But as we look into
Yeah,
the next waves, we know that maybe we can't place them in the middle. We have to place them a
cool.
little
Yeah.
bit, just play with the pack outs and whatnot.
I
And
think
just
it's
try
all
to make
trial
the most
and
of
error,
it.
right? Because
Yep.
how are you supposed to know if you don't
Right.
try it? Exactly.
Right.
You can't just assume it's going to be perfect, and then try it, and then whatever the case. But something I want to talk about here. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Okay, it's the Ultimate Edition Muhammad Ali. It was a Mattel Creations exclusive as well. If you guys grabbed it, is it still up, Steve? I'm not
It
sure.
is. It is. You can
It's
still get
still up
it.
if you guys are collecting it, guys.
Yeah, you can still get it on MattelCreations.com and WWShop.com. Awesome set. An icon in sports and entertainment, and everyone who's getting it has been seemingly really enjoying them in hand. So it's a really, really cool set, and it's an honor to have added Muhammad Ali to the Mattel collection of WWE figures for sure.
And it's on WWE Shop, which Nick Storm didn't know. There's a lot of things Nick Storm doesn't know. Okay, small brain. I'm just gonna say that. And yeah, this is a great figure. This one I think it's sort of a niche within a niche. It's a boxing figure. It's a ref figure in one, and wrestling as a whole is already a niche sort of culture. But it's so big in its own regard, which is insane too. But again, there's a lot of Muhammad Ali fans out there that I think aren't aware of this pack yet, and it's waiting for those sorts of people to have their eyes light up and see this and be like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have this on display 5 times over," or something like that. So I think that's cool in that regard.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think we have Muhammad Ali now, right? You see he's included in an upcoming retro set. So I think when those non-wrestling fans see a Muhammad Ali at retail, their minds are going to be blown.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like what it's in a WWE line. Like some people might not even know that he had a little trip to WWE or WWE, back in the day. So yeah, that's really cool to me. You guys grab it again, WWE Shop or at Mattel Creations as well. If you guys haven't grabbed this yet, is it I think a limit per customer too?
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? Grab 700 if you can.
Yeah.
If you can, okay. Don't say Nick Storm sent you because I don't want any legal trouble. Thanks. But next slide as well. This is something going to the Superstars line. I had to talk about Terry the Boulder, man. I just had to. I'm like a big kind of Hogan connoisseur, if you will, sort of like a McKenna in that regard, where I'm annoying everyone with my Hogan fandom, and I love it, okay. And I can't get enough of it. And this is Hulk Hogan's character in Memphis, if people aren't aware, before going to the W. And yeah, I'm very, very excited to get these in hand. Is this something we could see maybe with an Elite?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
So there's a different designer who works on these. Our design manager, Bill Beneke, who is a longtime industry veteran, and he worked on DC Universe Classics, I think was the line name. I can't believe I'm forgetting that. DC Universe Classics. When Mattel had that license, worked on some Masters of Universe Classics figures, and now he manages our design team. And he works on these. These are his babies, and there's so much love that goes into them. And he's nailing them. The soft goods are fantastic. The details like Hogan's wild chest hair is in place here. And he puts a lot of love
chest
into,
hair.
yeah, exactly. He puts a lot of love into creating these. But just because you see something in Superstars, looks wise, doesn't mean we can't totally explore that as an elite or an ultimate. So, this is something that, maybe after the dust settles with Hogan's 40th, we could look to explore as an elite.
Awesome, dude. I think like a mothership just went over the sun or something. You see how dark it just got in my room? Anyway.
Well, the aliens are here now, right? According to TikTok.
I mean, according to TikTok, I just watched the movie Nope, and everything.
Right.
I'm convinced everything is real. So that's me done for. I better not get any horses because that's me over. Okay. And moving on, I want to talk about these Builder figures. So it's the Nicholas and John Cone Builder figure. It's skipping my mind what line this is. I think it is the WrestleMania line that these are Builder figures for. Make sure you get me up on that. But yeah, getting a John Cone figure. I know just a referee sort of, I don't know, authority figure sort of role is what we need in wrestling. I love those sort of ring announcer guys. I love commentator figures. I love everything, and like backstage people, especially a referee now, because we don't see it as often. We maybe see like special guest referee figures or accessories with people or something like that. So getting a John Cone is super, super cool in my opinion. Just much needed. And a Nicholas as well to recreate that moment. Get a brawn on your hands as well. So yeah, this is really cool. Talk to us about getting Nicholas and John in the figure wave.
So Nicholas is the WrestleMania Elite Build-A-Figure, and John is the SummerSlam
right. Okay. Thank you.
Build-A-Figure. But I mean, awesome to expand the world, right? World building here, with a lot of like, supporting talent and stuff. And Nicholas's moment was memorable and different and iconic. And I think that's kind of perfect for a Build-A-Figure. And referees in general, we wanted to get into the line for the longest time. So I think it was fortuitous that, obviously, I'm not spoiling anything for anyone here, but Nicholas obviously is John's son. And we were kind of able to, make that deal happen through our partners at WWE, and get them both. And then at the same time, we also have that Teddy Long referee coming out as part of Monday Night War, right? So we're in a good place with getting referees. Different eras out now. John is your modern-ish referee. Teddy as your throwback Attitude Era referee. And then building up the world with
Nicholas, a kid I'm envious of and stole my name, obviously.
A kid tag team champion.
Already done more than me. Okay, maybe he is the iconic Nicholas after all.
No, what a line! Like, who would have thought when this all started that you'd have a guy in a turkey suit and a world champion boxer and a little kid tag team champion and Eddie and Ray fighting over custody of Dominic in the ladder match. We'll do it all. We'll do it all.
We'll do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. This is great. Moving on to some of the new basics that we saw. And this one I want to touch on because this one, propped my ears up when I first saw it, or my eyes, if you will. I normally look with my eyes, not my ears. But this looks like an iridescent sort of suit, and it shines, it glimmers in the light, and I wish I had it in hand just to like really show it off in the sunlight and get all the glimmers and all the shimmers and dimmers and limers and limousine ride and jet flying. Sorry, I went on a tangent there. But talk to me about this Seth Rollins with this suit. How do you get this like sort of iridescent paint apps onto a figure like this? Is it sort of the mold of the plastic?
Excuse me. Yes, it is. It is the type of plastic.
Okay.
And our basics designer John is very good, and he's pretty knowledgeable about plastic types, and he's good at metallics and shiny materials. And there was a basic Big E figure that he did a little while ago that had like an iridescent like look to it, and I was like, man, like why don't we try to do this for a Seth figure? And then, to his credit, because it was a lot of work to get it right, because the first samples that we got back looked pretty awful, but he nailed it in the end, and I think those pictures will come out possibly end of month as well. And it's just experimenting and pushing the limits of what you can do, and testing things like out with like Big E's boots, and then rolling it out in a more expanded way, like an entire suit like Seth here. It's also a way like, there's this maybe misconception or thought that suited figures don't sell. Well, we're going to do everything we can to make it sell by making it iridescent.
Every suit going forward. No,
Yes,
no.
even if it doesn't warrant it. Why is
Just like
the suit iridescent pink?
I mean, hey, if there's any time that it's the present, okay, to make a mean sheen with an iridescent pink suit. No, but yeah, this is great. I mean, you're really making basics. Like this first impression of basics is astounding to me, right? So you start off with that sort of like man-made sculpture looking diagram with the Roman basic, right? And then we see the rollout and we see the iridescent suit. We see the different poses it can do. It's on leg swivels, it's on ball joints. It's like there's so much going on here. It's a really great first impression, and I think kickstarted my love again for basics and a lot of other collectors out there. So this is like, I don't know, this is great. And with the whole basics and the new articulation as well, was that a long time coming internally?
Oh, years. When I first started on the team almost 6 years ago, that's when the change first kind of happened, and I was already attempting to revert it back to the old basics. But in a way, I think this is better because the old basics did have some movement at the bicep. But in reality, like to bring a figure to life, I think that the legs actually accomplishes that. So maybe it was for the best that, things didn't go my way initially. And we kind of went down this road because it gave us time to explore and really figure out something and get the most bang for our buck. Because you can't add it all at that price point of like basically $11 or $12. So what can you do that's going to be the most impactful, give you the most play value, posability, and make it the most satisfying? And I think the legs very much do that. Yeah, anytime I pick up an old basic now, it just seems so archaic with those pin legs, and I can't believe it took this long to happen. But it's here now. It happened, and everybody, on my team loves them, and the reception has begun. So I'm really proud of that, and I hope basics just is completely revitalized, much like the glory days of the basics back in the day.
Absolutely, I feel like it is, and there's some people who care about sometimes aesthetics over articulations of figures, and I think you're getting sort of the best of both worlds with aesthetics and articulation. Some people don't like the look of ab crunches sometimes, just in general, not any specific one. So they sort of they maybe torso swap a basic torso onto an elite legs or something like that, and that's what this reminds me of here. I think it's a really great like balance and a middle ground for every collector here. And I don't know. And I think the legs are something that stands out when you are posing something to me. And you can only do really like front and back, sort of like a toy literally like a toy soldier. So and now like it's revitalized and it's a lot better. So yeah, I'm super excited for this.
I've been seeing our buddy Kevin from Mass Republic posing our basic Rey Mysterio. I think it's the ECW Rey with Juventud. And those legs are extra pin leggy, unfortunately. And I'm just like, I'm very flattered that, he's posing his figures with our figures. But just like seeing those legs in that Rey, I'm like, damn, I need to redo that Rey figure and give him new legs.
Absolutely. Hey, look, there's no time like the present. We got to have the Rey with the new legs and the Mean Gene with the pink iridescent suit. So, Mattel, if you're listening out there. Speaking of Mattel, did you catch Barbie?
I didn't yet. Everyone is like blown away that I haven't seen it yet. There was a company screening, but it was
I would have thought so. Yeah,
it was right before Comic-Con, and everyone left the office, and I was so swamped at trying to prepare an awesome Comic-Con for you guys. I stayed behind and just kept toiling away. So yeah, I made the Barbie sacrifice for the fans and didn't see it yet, and now I'll have to pay to see it if I want to see it in theaters.
Hey, you're paying your own salary at that point, I feel.
Right.
No. And something that happens in the movie, Will Ferrell is the CEO. Is this
what?
Real life?
Spoiler. Yeah. I'm kidding.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. Will Ferrell's the CEO of every movie. I swear to God, at this point. Right. So Will Ferrell, is he the real CEO of Mattel? Can you tell me? Okay, thank you.
Of course.
That's all I needed. Thanks for watching, guys. No, I'm joking. That's all I needed. No, a really great movie, man. I think it's like the only reason I like it is because there's like toy language in there, and there's toy, and there's sort of toy physics, I'd say, and so that really popped me. So yeah, go see it. Pay your own salary and cop a ticket, and maybe I'll go with you if you invite me if you're ever so inclined, because I'll see it again. I'll see it again. We could. Yeah, we could fly over. We could take a photo in that Barbie box.
Well,
It'll be great. It'll be a great time. All right. A vlog coming soon on the channel. Never. No. Next, I want to talk about the Legends. Legends line. It's sort of, we're getting greatest hits now included in the Legends line. Is this something going forward? Obviously, this line is very, very special now. Especially because there's Bruno Sammartino, there's British Bulldog, there's Honky Tonk Man, there's Warrior. And there's also a Terry Funk in here. Now, this Terry Funk, I needed to go back and get it, man. I was really hoping like a few months ago I could find it on eBay, second market. And I'm thank the heavens that like you guys are doing this again in the greatest hits line, getting that ECW title out in the line again. I just want to thank you and Steve.
I'm here. Can you hear me,
Steve? Steve. Steve.
Uh-oh.
Wait, I can hear you.
Is there a run-in? A run-in's going to happen?
Steve.
Now Charizard's coming.
I don't know what's happening.
Here we are.
There we go. Hey, man.
I think it was
and we're
the
back.
post from TikTok.
Yeah, it was, dude. It's the mothership. That's what they were doing. They're trying to hijack this stream. They're trying to get all the sneaky scoops and reveals and everything.
Yeah, so they want us to talk about basics.
Steve. Sam, what's happening? I'm joking.
I don't know. I'm trying to fix it.
No,
hey, here we go again. Okay,
you got it, man. No, dude. While you trying to, it's just technical difficulties, man. First live show. Okay, can you blame us? Okay,
we're live.
If you can blame us, we're live, pal. If you can blame us, no, you
pal.
can't. Okay, no, you can't. I convinced you. No, but yeah, Legends Greatest Hits, man. Talk to me about this. Where did this idea come from for having not only the Greatest Hits Elite line, but also integrating it into the Legends line, and now also Ultimates as well? Is this something we can see later down the line? I guess like you were mentioning Ray, that Ray with the new added leg articulations. Can we get a Greatest Hits basic? Steve. Can we get I don't remember what I was asking. Basic something about
Legends Greatest Hits. They're fantastic. They're going to be terrific.
Yeah. There you go. Boom. Code icon save to 10% at Target.
Yeah, we're gonna continue them. We're gonna continue them. We just got approved for the second wave. Second wave of them, I guess we'll call it. It'll come around the same time next year, a year from now. You'll find these at Target on I think a sidekick display. So those are the displays that are on like the side of an end cap. And you'll have Warrior, Honky, Terry, and Bulldog on that sidekick. And Bruno is going to be exclusive to Target.com. And we're hoping that pre-sale goes up sometime later this fall.
There you go. All right.
Lots of scoops.
Lots of scoops, all right? You're going to be falling all over these figures when you see them in retail. I'm telling you that. Maybe because they're on the sideways of the aisles as well. It depends on who packs them out. Okay. And that's up to Target. Okay. We have nothing. Maybe I have something to do with it. Maybe. I don't know. It's all up. Okay. It's all hearsay. Anyway, I need my lawyer. Ichiban Hogan. We are seeing this in the Legends Series 22. Now, I'm just a big kind of like Japan sort of wrestling mark. I'm a incel, if you will, in that regard. And I love Japanese wrestling. It's I don't know. It's just super nostalgic for me. Even going back watching the 80s stuff, watching some old Japan, and I don't know. It's just something like really struck home. Like watching Ichiban. I think like seeing Hogan as a heel. A lot of people kind of think of like Hollywood Hogan when they think of heel Hogan. But man, like this was back in the day, like Terry Boulder was the heel and Ichiban was number 1, baby. You know, this is like we're getting a lot of iterations of Hogan's career, and this is something I was clamoring for. I have the Legends of the Ring Jax line Ichiban Hogan, and got the cloth goods or the soft goods robe from that, and yeah, this is just amazing, man. I could ramble on all day about this. Talk to me about this.
Bill went with the shirt, so now you're reminding me I need to grab an extra Jax Hogan or two to get some robes. I have it, but the Jax figure needs his robe too. So, but yep,
exactly, yeah, you don't want a naked Hoagie now,
right? So I got to get 2 more robes. But yeah, this is another one we've talked about for like the longest time, and the moment was right now, right? Because we needed to roll out. We should be rolling out a bunch of Hogans to celebrate. And it was, we were waiting for it. I think it was in a lineup maybe previously, and we had to bump it out for some reason. So it's kind of nice that it's being released during the 40th celebration year. And it's cool, and it was shocking, right, to get those tapes as a kid and be like, what the heck is going on here? This is the red and yellow Hogan.
Nothing's running wild here. He's just beating ass.
Right. Clotheslines and double axe handles, and what's going on here? Well, I want the leg drop. And later on you learn to appreciate things like that. And you see, how more wide his skill set was than what he presented to American audiences, because that audience ate up that type of performance. And our American audience wanted something different, especially the WWF audience at the time. Yeah, and I bought the record like 10 years ago on eBay. So
Ichiban, Hogan is a champion. Ichiban, everybody, Ichiban, Hogan is a sorry. Yeah, I can't believe you have that record. I'm actually kind of jealous.
I don't know if you'll get in trouble for rights issues, so you could probably make that your opening song if you want to.
Oh, now I have to. Now I have to justify it somehow. Yeah, no, this is great. And Hogan, you remind me of a Japanese or Japan Hogan. It's when he I went back in like 93, I think. He had a match with Tenryu, and like that was insane. Like, and you actually see him mat wrestling. You see him doing chain wrestling, and it's like, where was this in the 80s? Like, but he didn't need it in the 80s. Okay, he needed
weird, right? It would have been weird with that style, because he was a monster.
He'd probably been a mid card. No,
yeah, but the purpose of him in the 80s was monster killer. It was like WWF would build up the new monster and he would chop him down. So like none of that would have made any sense whatsoever. He did a little bit with that first match with Flair when he jumped ship to WCW. That was like a little bit of a glimpse of a different Hogan there, because it did work well with Flair. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if the New Japan app or whatever has all that old Japanese footage, him and Muta or whatever, but I would be down to subscribe if I knew it was definitely on there.
Yeah, and you can grab these figures as well, and it'll just make your viewing experience that much better. Okay.
Yes.
No, but yeah, a match, you talk about Monster Killer Hogan, and a match I go back to is my favorite Hogan match, I think, is the Mega Powers Collide, WrestleMania 5. Macho Man and Hogan. I think this in-ring style, the in-ring match itself is, I think, Hogan's best match, just storytelling wise. Not even you can add all the chain wrestling, but I think story is something that I think people gravitate towards it, and that's actually what suckers them in most cases. And yeah, Macho and Hogan. Oh my god, magnifique! I'm gonna rewatch it after this stream. We can talk about Hogan all we want, okay? Because I could do it for years and years and years and years. But Elite WrestleMania 10. Shawn and Razor, an intercontinental match, ladder match, the 2-pack that we saw shown off. Talk to me a little bit about this, man. I'm really, really excited to get this gear for Razor and Shawn and the 2 IC titles. And there's an obvious like paint app difference between the 2 titles as well. The ladder that's included, the box art is insane. It's the 2 I think it's the big X from WrestleMania, just kind of like the entranceway sort of opens up. It's super cool. So yeah, talk to me about this 2-pack.
So, well, okay, I'll talk to you about the pack, then I'll give you some updates. WrestleMania 40 is coming up. We want to celebrate 40 years of WrestleMania in a couple different ways. So this is one of the items that we're doing to celebrate that. WrestleMania 10, like incredibly iconic, and this match itself like set the bar for all future ladder matches that we've enjoyed in the subsequent years. And the box is just like awesome. Our packaging designer and engineer, they killed it with the execution. And I just fortunately saw pictures today during our team approval meeting of the step before final step for these figures. And I can say that the gold vest has been greatly improved, Razor's gold vest. So it really is a true gold now, rather than this like greenish, fake gold, your neck turns gold when you wear it type of vest. And the titles, the story about the titles being different colors, that's actually my fault, because we didn't have the titles. They didn't send us the titles with the samples to take photos, because they exist, right? And it's like, okay, these are just kind of carry forward titles. So I just dug through my box of accessories at work and found 2 IC titles, not knowing they were different colors, and shot them. And that's why they're different colors. But on final product, the titles will be the same color.
Okay, yeah. Final product, you won't get Steve's IC titles through his figure bins that he rummages.
Right, I'm exposing the business here, left and right.
I mean, now I wish we had Steve OZER owned IC titles that come with the pack. That'd be the selling point for me. The ladder is a bonus, and the figures, I guess. Gonna have those. Moving on, man. We have the Elite 109 Seth Rollins. People are saying the title on this could be a bit bigger. It maybe looks a little bit smaller from the render image here, but again, it is a render image. Have you guys seen that talk online? Is there any talks about that within you guys?
So these images, we have a producer. Sometimes it's me. This year we had a producer who puts our decks together that we present during the Comic-Con panel, and that title image I think is a separate image, and it's just placed there. So there's nobody measuring it for accuracy on a slide or creating that graphic.
Right.
So Bill, when he actually gets the the test shot or first shot of that title, that's when he's gonna potentially resize it if necessary. But that's not 100% reflection of the size of the title there. It's just probably an image cobbled together for the sake of the reveal or for the sake of the panel. So yeah, I heard it, but Bill's on it already. He talked about that title today, actually, and he said he's working on improving the aesthetics of it and the scale itself. I mean, he'll have to figure that out through the normal process. But these images are they're sneak peeks of works in progress, and sometimes we're just like cobbling things together. I think it was just a title added to the already existing sculpt image of Seth.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough.
I didn't measure it. I'll admit that. I didn't measure and make sure and put a real photo of the title up next to it or anything. You
telling me you didn't rummage through your figure bin for this title too?
Not for this one, no.
Ah, damn it.
But I think there will be a day when I do have to rummage for this title once it exists.
Yeah, once it exists, and you can get an Elite 109 with a Seth Rollins. Boom! Oh my god, look at that. But yeah, I always think take render images with a grain of salt. You can't even see it in hand, man. And the only way you can really judge a figure is by having it in hand. You can look at it from a distance in person, but once you have like a feel in hand, it's a completely different experience. But yeah, moving on. I want to say this has just been a great chat already. I appreciate you stopping by and taking the time to do this. What were some of your favorite figures shown off at San Diego Comic-Con personally for you?
From our line or other lines? Or both?
Both. Yeah. Give me all the content.
I don't remember. It feels like ancient history because we're on to the next.
Yeah, I don't want you accidentally leaking something that's 5 years from now going to come out or something,
Right. Ultimate Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Super cool. I'm excited to get a Yokozuna with the drop down hips, so I can have him do leg drops to Bret Hart and Lex Luger.
Dude, he's gonna be sitting on this guy 24/7. All right.
So yeah, I'm really excited about that. LA Knight, of course, people have been begging for an LA Knight figure, so he's coming as a new basic. That's awesome. For other lines, trying to think of the Super Sevens Cat Lair, not so much a reveal. But
right.
seeing that playset in person and being completely overwhelmed and questioning my collector existence by wanting to buy that thing, it's bigger than the Snake Mountain that's here.
I was gonna say, do
It's
you have any more room for layers in that
yeah.
room?
That thing is huge. Snake Mountain's about to move onto new shelves on the other side of the room. But yeah, that was impressive. I love the work that Super 7 does.
Yeah,
Their Comic-Con Godzilla was excellent. Kyle does a great job designing over there. NECA stuff.
yeah,
Was there
always.
a Krang maybe? A giant
Right?
Giant
Yeah.
Krang. That was exciting to see. Their sewer diorama playset that they're crowdfunding now was cool. G.I. Joe Classified. I don't remember any names right now, but I'm sure I was excited in the moment in the booth talking to Lenny and Emily over there, and then our buddies, Ryan and Dwight over at Marvel Legends Hasbro. Awesome stuff. And I went home with a West Coast Avengers box set. So that was cool. But yeah, I mean,
That's awesome.
I collect so much and I love everything. And I just spent last weekend opening tons of backlog of Comic-Con exclusives
Oh
to try
wow.
to
Yeah.
catch up and put things away. So yeah.
How do you find time for anything? How do you find time like yeah, like this is a great question actually because you are so busy with podcasting and I could just imagine like there's a lot that goes on in the build up to these cons and stuff like that. How is your like personal how do you balance stuff out? Is it good? Are you able to, I should say.
There's no balance. There's no balance. Fortunately, I date someone in the industry, so there's understanding there of
Right.
what the deal is, and we're both like equally dedicated. We'll say, but it's. I'm glad that I love this because if I didn't love it, I don't know that I could keep going doing it because it's a lot. And much like Terry Funk, I came out of retirement. I had a very brief retirement from doing interviews after Comic-Con. I needed a break. So this is my first interview back in action after my I guess only a month long hiatus after SDCC. So not a very long retirement.
You're
Just
back
like
in action figure attack.
Terry Funk, right?
Yeah, there
Um,
you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's moments, right? It's moments like if I'm in a meeting and we're talking and the camera's off and I don't need to actually do something on the computer, maybe I'll open up a couple figures and test them out and then bag them up or something because I keep them all in archive bags. Like my Baroness from Comic-Con.
Oh
So
yeah.
test them out, then I'll put them in archive bags and she goes in the GI Joe bin, do some toy photography or something, which I just don't even have time for. So I'm just like fooling myself.
I mean, hey, sometimes false promises is all you need. I'll do this.
Right.
I'll open this.
It
And
justifies me buying them. Oh yeah, I'll do toy photography someday with these.
yeah, right. Exactly. You know what? Conspiracy theory. I'm gonna put on my Jesse Ventura hat here. You actually made the Ultimate Edition lines just to toy photograph. Is that even? That's not a word. Photograph. Now it is. You made Ultimate Edition line just to toy photograph, and then you can't even toy photograph.
I did it to bag them up with the intention of toy photographing them.
Someone put that in like the Urban Dictionary or something, or Oxford or something. All right,
But I did make it for toy photographers.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that was part of my pitch for them.
Yeah.
So yes, 100% that line is completely made for toy photographers, including me, but mostly everybody.
I'm glad I'm glad you did that because if it was just like we didn't bring it up at all ever again, it's just like, oh yeah, Steve made the Ultimate Edition lines for himself. So I'm glad you conjured that up. But I want to throw it to the fans, guys. If you are watching and you guys have any questions in the chat, throw them down. But we have some pre-roll questions here from the Instagram post from a few days ago. If you guys aren't aware, follow at Nick Storm Review, follow Action Figure Attack, follow Sam's Figs to get all the inside scoops on that. Maybe not Steve Ozer, don't bother him. Bother me instead. We got something here from Wrestling Figure News Network. When can we expect the next Mattel Creations exclusive Ultimate Edition like a Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes?
We're gonna do something with Mattel Creations in the next few months, but it won't be ultimate, but it'll be very special.
Cool. Okay. Beautiful. Sam, bring it back. Thank you. It's been said. This is from Rubs Figs. NZ. You know what NZ stands for, Steve?
What?
New Zealand.
Oh, there you go. Zed.
There you go.
Zed
We're
throws
learning.
me off. Zed, you say Zed, I'm thinking
Oh,
Power
yeah.
Rangers Zed, right? Zed is Z in the USA. I'm just a dumb
Yeah.
American.
No, I'm a dumb. Look, I think we are the only country who says Zed. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I don't know why we started doing that all of a sudden. Like, anyway, Rubs Figs NZ says it's been said that the greatest hits Elite line is primarily reissues of past figures with updated face printing and articulation. But we've seen a couple exceptions so far, such as The Undertaker from Wave 1 with a different head than the original, Batista from Wave 2 without the bald patch and different placement for one of his tattoos. How many changes can you get away with before it no longer fits under the greatest hits line?
As much as we can get away with.
Yeah, so you guys can photograph at home.
Yes.
All right. Don't forget about it. Don't forget.
Their reissues, it's called carry forward. And sometimes little changes have to happen because of reasons. So look, I think sometimes we know when people want certain things and we try to make them happen, and sometimes we can make them happen and sometimes we can't. But we'll do whatever we can, right? So, wink wink, keep
Before that answer,
keep that between us. Don't tell anybody. Don't put this on the internet.
No, yeah, don't worry. This is off the books, guys. No, you just got it is like before that answer, you just got told by Heisenberg, tread lightly. That's what it felt like. That was I'm so glad you answered that. Thank you. And thanks for these questions, guys. These have been really, really great so far. And one here coming here from Alex Best Collects in the chat right now. Shout out. Will we see any more best of Ultimates in 2023, 2024? Hypothetically, if you did another run of the Ultimate Edition 7 Hollywood Hogan, would it be possible to include an updated torso like the Ultimate Edition 13 Hogan, like the best of UE Ultimate Warrior? Maybe even updated skin tone. Who knows? What do you have to say about that, Steven?
There'll be a couple more. I don't know how much longer we can do best of Ultimates like continuously now. Maybe we need a break because there's not tons of Ultimates like there are Elites. And then upgrades, I mean, same answer as before. Like, we'll do what we can. It's limited what we can do, but we try to push the limits of everything to maximize things for you guys.
Of course, yeah. Thank you guys for submitting in those questions. Sam, do we have any live chatters questioning some questions?
So I still don't know what's going on with the comments. I think only one of us can see them, and that's what that whole mess was earlier. But I do have one that I wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
This Undertaker that I just got this yesterday. In hand, the skin tone is very tan, and Taker wasn't really known for being like a tan guy like Hogan or Macho, other guys during that time. Was there anything like specifically, was there a reason why he was so tan on this figure, or anything you can tell us about that?
Mark,
Yeah,
a trip to Venice Beach. Yeah.
If you look back at photos of him from that time frame, he was a little tanner when he first debuted. He didn't get his legs underneath him with the gimmick fully yet, and I think maybe, and I work with Bill, but I don't have every single answer for some of his design choices. But I would, my educated guess is that it reflects the time before he really 100% went all into this gimmick and started figuring out the nuts and bolts of it, right? And as you see the months and years progress for Undertaker, he did get super really pale at certain points, and then actually started painting his face to make it look even more pale, or maybe some light makeup or powder or something, and then doing things with his eyebrows, a little bit of purple here. So you kind of see an evolution of the character happen. So my educated guess is Bill was just going for that early version debut, when he didn't really, hide from the sun like he did a little bit later, a couple years into the career as Undertaker. Best I can do.
Dude, he did intentionally what I apparently do naturally. I live in Australia. It's sunny always, and I'm pale as hell apparently. So make sure you get the Aiden English skin tone when you make a Nick Storm figure, guys. No, but yeah, a great question. And if there are guys, if you have any questions in the chat that you have for Steve Ozer here, make sure you put them through. We'll get to some. And there's one from Mike Cell 35 here. Will the Survivor Series Elite set be available on Ringside? I'm assuming yes.
I believe so.
Yeah. And you can use 10% off code Icon if you want. I mean, it's
There
up
you
to you. It's up to you. Hey, you can use MD Toys. You can use For Life. You can use Live. You can use DGen. You can use News. You can use Lun. You can use Grim. You can use Hero. You can use. I'm trying to think of every different thing. I really can't. But yeah, there's all these codes out there to use, and you can grab your Survivor Series Elites from Ringside Collectibles doing so. But Steve, I really want to thank you, man. I don't want to eat up too much of your time. I just want to thank you for being here, and thanks for stopping by, giving us an hour of your time, especially on such a short notice. We only had, I think I only like breached you this question maybe less than a week ago, and here we are. And there's been a ton that's happened in that week, and with everything that has been going on, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on here and share an hour of your time with us.
Yeah, thank you. I got my mind off of some things, which I think was needed. So it was really nice. Always love talking toys. And I think, lots of people might be jumping over, especially on the East Coast, to start tuning into SmackDown now, which should be very special. So everybody, watch SmackDown tonight, and let's honor our heroes, Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sam, any final thoughts, man, before we get out of here?
That's it from me.
That's it from me. That's it from us, guys. That's it from Figure Friday. You can find Steve at Action Figure Attack or on Instagram at Action Fig Attack on Twitter. Mothership is going over again. Anyway, yeah, you can find me at Nick Storm Review everywhere, at Sam's Figs everywhere as well, on X, Instagram, all those. Oh, I hate saying X. Ugh, made me gross a little bit. But X, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Elon is ruining everything. Thank you guys for joining into the stream. Appreciate it. And yeah, guys, tune into SmackDown. It's on right now. I'm gonna have to be catching up on it. Hopefully, you guys have your DVRs set. If you don't, oops. I'm sorry. No, it's gonna be a great time. We're gonna be remembering Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. Yeah, this has just been a really, really special live stream. Guys, thank you everyone for stopping by and watching. And yeah, Steve, thanks again, man.
All right. Thank you guys.
No worries. Did you enjoy this stream? Well, good, because after this stream ends, make sure to go onto my channel and binge watch every single one of my videos, because they're guaranteed a good chuckle or two. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye!